So it's been about a week since my last video fully covering the Schlep situation, and honestly enough has happened that I need to make another update. First off, David Baszucki himself responded publicly to Schlep on camera saying that he loves the work that Schlep does. Then we have Matt Kaufman, who actually reached out to Schlep directly despite Roblox being told not to contact him, and Kaufman basically said that Roblox wanted to bring Schlep on Roblox to provide feedback and input to improve their systems. That's a complete 180 from less than a month ago when Roblox was labeling Schlep as a vigilante and even claiming he was more worse than the themselves. On top of that, Schlep has gone public with even more information on Twitter that we'll be digging into throughout this whole video. But before we get started, please make sure to like the video, subscribe with notifications on, and comment free Schlep to boost engagement and push the story out to more people. And don't forget to hype this video up on YouTube using the YouTube mobile app, as it really helps the word spread further. Anyways, let's dive right into what David Baszucki actually said in that interview, because it's not just about the Schlep comment. Right at the start, David Baszucki talks about how Roblox is supposedly the new standard in safety. He claims that they've got all these safeguards in place, people can't send images, the chat is heavily filtered, and that their goal is to keep everyone on the platform to protect them.
What we announced this week on Wednesday is really what we feel is going to become the industry standard. We're going to do it first. We're doing it before any laws, before any legislation. And in addition to everything we already do, and what we already do is there is no image sharing on Roblox. We filter all the text, we monitor for critical harms, and we really actually focus on keeping people on Roblox rather than other platforms where bad things tend to happen. We added 2 new things that we announced this week. Number 1, we're going to use age estimation, including ID or AI-based selfie, to literally know everyone's age on our platform who's using any form of communication, including filtered communication. The second thing we announced is generally we'll use this technology, for example, to adjust, should a minor ever talk to an adult unless they know each other in real life. So not from the law, not from anything else. It's really our vision of safety. We think every other social communication platform is going to look at this and say this is the new standard.
But here's the reality. That's not how that works. For starters, people absolutely can send images on Roblox through things like decals, and their approval system is nowhere near as good as he's making it sound. You've got tweets out there showing that people have managed to upload all sorts of inappropriate content. I'm talking about things like MAP symbols, which stand for minor attracted persons, and even it's pretty clear that the system isn't nearly as advanced as David Baszucki is making it out to be. And it's the same story with the Roblox chats. He says it's heavily filtered, but people get around it all the time. Just change the wording a little bit instead of saying a flagged word. For example, the word was censored, but people use words like freak, diddy, creep, or whatever else. It's not rocket science to get around those filters, and it happens constantly. And finally, David Baszucki wraps up by claiming that their goal is to keep everyone on the platform so they can't share these images elsewhere. But the crazy part is that Roblox literally allows you to advertise your Discord server, your Twitter, your YouTube channel right on the platform, so people can easily jump off and share whatever they want elsewhere. It makes no sense. When you put all this together, David Baszucki's whole narrative just falls apart. They're talking a big game on camera, but the actual reality of how Roblox works and the steps they've taken to silence people like Schlep show a completely different story. It's all about PR. Now let's talk about the part of the interview that really made a lot of people stop and take a look back. David Baszucki bringing up Schlep by name. At one point in the interview, David Baszucki says, "I love the work Schlep does."
Should users be thinking about this though? Because this is a very passionate issue among your user base and your community, and they find stuff too. And there was a big controversy when you kicked this guy off the platform.
Yeah, we want to highlight.
How should they be thinking about that?
Yeah, we want to highlight really, we have no tolerance for people who don't follow our policies. And so, for example, we don't allow people on our platform to impersonate other people or to do other things on our platform, and we're really consistent. But I want to highlight, we've reached out to Schlep, we've reached out to the general. We love their, feedback and input to how to scale our systems. We work at such a scale. We've shared that we had over 100 million DAUs. These things have to be solved from a major systemic issue. Both
to be clear, this is not just a Roblox issue.
And I would say what we're optimistic about is both with our vision of a new standard, really setting the groundwork for this. It is, as you mentioned, an industry-wide issue. Right. It's why we focus so much on keeping everyone on Roblox where they can share images, or where all text is filtered, as opposed to maybe other platforms where some of these bad things are.
And if you don't know the full backstory, you might think that is a huge compliment. Roblox's CEO openly praising a community member who's been exposing sounds like a really good step in the right direction, right? Here's where the hypocrisy comes in. Behind the scenes, Roblox has done everything possible to silence Schlep. Just a few weeks ago, executives were calling him a vigilante and even claiming he's worse than the he was catching. And obviously not to forget, both David Baszucki and Matt Kaufman personally sent Schlep a cease and desist letter and completely wiped his Roblox accounts. By doing that, they cut off his ability to investigate and expose the who are still operating on the platform. So what does that tell us? On camera, David Baszucki is using Schlep's name to make Roblox look like they support Schlep's safety efforts, but in reality, they've crippled Schlep's ability to continue his work. It's a PR spin. They want to reap the positive attention of Schlep's work without allowing him to continue holding these accountable. And then there's the bigger issue. While David Baszucki is on camera painting Roblox as the gold standard in safety, behind the scenes, the company is still making really questionable moves. Matt Kaufman actually reached out directly to Schlep. Despite Roblox being told not to contact him directly, Kaufman basically offered him a role in Roblox, providing feedback on Roblox's systems. That's a total 180 from their earlier stance and shows the company is trying to quietly pull Schlep into their PR strategy rather than truly addressing the problems. And I've said this in videos before, and I'm going to kindly remind all of you, why was Matt Kaufman playing condo games and not doing anything in terms of moderation to those games for almost a year? If you guys remember the whole Teddy drama from a couple months ago, that could have easily been prevented a whole year ago if Matt Kaufman actually did his job. Matt Kaufman was caught playing Teddy's games almost a year ago. Why did he not do anything about those games? Anyways, to sum it up, in this interview, David Baszucki is basically trying to sell Roblox as a model of safety, praising Schlep for appearances, and then making big promises about AI and moderation. But the reality doesn't line up with what he's saying. Roblox isn't the new standard in safety. It's a company that's been caught ignoring, silencing critics, and scrambling to save face now that the pressure is public. Now, let's move on to the emails and the legal side of all of this, because this is where Roblox's contradictions really come out. And for some context here, back in August, Roblox sent Schlep a cease and desist through their attorneys. That email, which Schlep showed on Twitter, flat out accused him of violating Roblox's terms of use. They claimed his work created an unsafe environment and even went as far as labeling him as a vigilante. In simple terms, Roblox's legal team wasn't just telling him to stop, they were threatening him, trying to scare him off from continuing to expose on the platform. But here's the thing. After sending that letter, Roblox didn't even follow their own rules. Less than a month later, Matt Kaufman, Roblox's chief safety officer, reached out to Schlep directly. He basically tried to open a private line of communication asking Schlep to give feedback on Roblox's safety systems. And Schlep confirmed it himself when asked if Kaufman had reached out to him directly, and his answer was just one word: yes. The problem with that is that Roblox has already been told in writing not to contact Schlep directly. That's why on September 9th, Schlep's lawyers fired back with another letter calling out Roblox for unauthorized communications, and this time the letter didn't hold anything back. It pointed out the glaring hypocrisy. Roblox banned all of Schlep's accounts, threatened him with lawsuits, and publicly smeared him as a vigilante, all while trying to use him privately for PR. The letter also made three things very crystal clear going forward. 1. Roblox must respect prior requests and route all communications through Schlep's legal team, with no more secret backdoor outreach. 2. If Roblox is serious about a constructive conversation, it can't happen while Schlep is being threatened, publicly maligned, and privately courted behind his lawyers' backs. And 3. Most importantly, any real discussion has to include how Roblox plans to take accountability for the hundreds if not thousands of victims who've been exposed to and on the platform. And Schlep himself summed it up best in his tweet: Roblox reached out to me now as a PR stunt. If they want a genuine dialogue, they first must act in good faith and acknowledge the victims of their platform. That's the heart of the issue. Roblox doesn't want Schlep's partnership, they want his credibility. They want to borrow his reputation to make themselves look better without actually fixing the problems or recognizing the people harmed. So when you line up the timeline, it's undeniable. First, Roblox threatens him with a cease and desist, then Matt Kaufman ignores that and sneaks in a private message, then Schlep's lawyers blast him for unauthorized communications and demand accountability, and finally, Roblox tries to spin the whole thing into a PR stunt. It's not a genuine collaboration, it's damage control. And if all of that wasn't enough, Roblox doubled down publicly too. Just days before the lawyer's letter, Schlep was featured in the Times, where he was profiled as a survivor who turned into a hunter on Roblox. The article laid it out pretty clearly. Schlep gathered evidence and exposed faster than Roblox ever could until Roblox banned him. But instead of acknowledging the impact of his work, Roblox's response was to claim that Schlep was taking the law into his own hands. In their statement, they said that taking the law into your own hands isn't safe in the real world and it's not safe online. That's why we believe that safety enforcement should be left to trained professionals and proper authorities, not individual users, and why we work with law enforcement to hold bad actors accountable. On the surface, that sounds like a reasonable line to leave it to the professionals, but here's the problem. Schlep was working with professionals. He talked to law enforcement directly, and officers who reviewed his videos confirmed he was doing everything right. He wasn't vigilante role-playing. He was reporting actual crimes to proper authorities while Roblox was failing to do anything. So once again, you see the contradiction. Publicly, Roblox dismisses him as someone unsafe who's taking the law into his own hands, but privately, Matt Kaufman is in his inbox asking for feedback on how to fix their systems. And legally, Roblox is sending him cease and desist to keep them off their platform. At every turn, Roblox has tried to control the narrative, threatening him when he exposes too much, dismissing him as a vigilante in the press, then trying to leverage his credibility when the backlash gets too loud. Meanwhile, the victims he's fighting for are still getting ignored. So yeah, the whole situation just keeps getting crazier, with Roblox trying to act like they're leading the way in safety, but when you actually look at how they've treated Schlep, silencing him, banning him, and then trying to use him for PR, it's really clear where their priorities really are. If you made it this far into the video, thank you for watching. Be sure to like the video, subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on this whole mess. And of course, comment free Schlep to help push this video out to more people. And as always, I'll keep covering updates as soon as they come out. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.